In this video, I'm going to show you how to place a circular pattern of holes on this face of the model. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick on this face and I'm going to go to the Create Sketch option. Next, I'm going to go to the Center Point command. I'm going to pick that and I'm going to move my cursor to my center point right here and just park it there for a second and acquire that, and then you'll notice that as I move along I'm actually getting a little dotted line. This is like a polar tracking line, and I'm just going to come out here to a point. I want to make sure I'm on that line where I'm lined up with my center point. I'm just going to pick, and what that does is it places what's called a point center point, and a point center point is a piece of geometry that I can create a hole around. Now I'm going to press escape and get out of the point center point command. The next thing I want to do is define the location of this from the center point exactly. So I'm going to use my dimension command for that. I'm going to snap to my center point and then I'm just going to come over here and pick on the point center point, and that's going to place a linear dimension. I'm going to pick right there. The distance that I want to place this is 0.5, so I'm just going to type in 0.5 and press the green check mark. And at that point I'm finished. I have the position where I want to place the hole. Now once I have the hole in there, I'll be able to do the pattern, but first I have to define the hole. Now I have two options here. I can either finish the sketch and then select the hole command from the ribbon, or I can simply type H which puts me directly into the hole tool. And so now what I want to do is just come in here and define the diameter for the hole. So I want the hole to be a 0.25 diameter hole, and the depth of the hole right now it's showing me being at 1 inch, and that may go all the way through the part, but to ensure that I can choose through all. Then I know it will go all the way through, and I think I'll make this a threaded hole. So I'm just going to pick on threaded right here. And since I've already defined that as a 0.25 inch diameter hole, my thread options are all based on 1/4 inch thread. So I'm just going to stick with 1/4 - 20 threads per inch UNC, Unified National Course thread, right-handed thread, 2B fit. Alright, so at that point all I need to do is select OK, and my threaded hole is created. Now if we go look at the front view, you can see that that hole, well, it doesn't go all the way through. We better go back and check that. So I'm going to right click on that and go to Edit Feature, and for distance I want to pick through all. There we go, and pick OK. Now if I rotate this a little bit, I can see that it's threaded and that it does go all the way through. And at this point I'm ready to create my pattern of holes. Now here's how that works. We look up here on the ribbon, and under pattern we'll see the option for circular. Select circular and a dialog box will open, and you can see that this highlighted button next to features is there, and what it's looking for is it wants you to select the features. Now you can come over here and you can actually pick on the feature here if you want to, or you can come onto your browser and pick it directly from the browser, and sometimes that's the easiest way to do it. And you can even hold down Shift and select multiple features if you had them, but generally you would only select one for a circular pattern. So I've got hole selected. The next thing it wants me to select after I've selected what feature is the rotation axis, and for this I'm going to pick on the button again. Now I have two options here. I can come to this outside edge of this cylinder and it will select the axis, the center axis for that cylinder, or because I have this hole here which is concentric with the outside, I can pick on it. Either one will work. And so, but because it says rotation axis, a lot of times users of Inventor, they look for an actual axis, but what you want to choose is a feature that would have the axis that you want. Now you can see the axis lights up for this cylindrical hole that I have through here. Next, I define how many holes that I want to put in here. So it's defaulting to 6, but I'm going to put 5 in. And the second thing it asks me is what is the angle that I want to fill. So if I do 360 degrees, it's going to equally divide 5 holes around 360 degrees. You'll also notice the direction for the pattern of the holes that it's going to be making there. So you have some other options whether or not you want, if these weren't holes, whether or not you want to rotate them as the circular pattern is created or not. All right. So I think I have everything defined that I want to, so I'm just going to pick OK. And here's my pattern. Now, what if I have to come in and edit this pattern? Well, I would go over here to my browser, right-click on Circular Pattern, Edit Feature, and let's say that I wanted it to be 6 holes instead of 5. I would just type 6 and then pick OK. Now, what if I need to edit the diameter of the holes? Well, in that case, I would come to the hole that I drew, which in my case right here is called hole number 2. I would go to the browser, find hole 2, right-click on it, go to Edit Feature, and if I need to change the diameter for the hole, then that's what I would do, is I could come over here and go for a slightly smaller hole. Let's say this number 10, which is 0.19, and pick OK. And so when the hole diameter changes, the pattern, every hole in the pattern, its diameter changes because they are all dependent on this hole right here, which was the first one that I made. And that's how you use the circular pattern.